See, Spuddy, you get more time if you don't come on. Like I am fascinated now.
Like this train wreck of a gift. I'm like I feel bad.
Like, does he wrap it? Do you think he wraps it, or do you think he just hands it to her in a bag? Oh, here's our guest now. We'll have to get back to this. But right now, if I can figure out my scene switchers here, we'll switch over and look at that. Everything works. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How about yourself?
Well, I am doing great. Let me don't start off like that. I am doing great. My youngest daughter just had her 4th birthday. I got a flu shot today, and I voted, so I'm very happy. I got all that fun stuff out of the way. I was gonna watch a little Impact Wrestling tonight, but I got caught up with a viewer in the chat who is going to buy his lady friend, he's been seeing a while. Now get this, he bought her lingerie off of Wish.com, and he's planning to get it right. He's planning. I can't write this stuff. He's planning to give it to her on Christmas. So I don't know how well that's gonna work. And he ordered it one size up because he wasn't quite sure. So I don't know if you have any advice for him, but that's what we were doing right before you came on.
I guess it's the thought that counts.
I guess it is. It'd be the last thought if he gives it to her. But that's not why you're here. You've been on here. This is your 2nd time on, and
yes.
It was a pleasure having you on last time. And since you've been on this show, and Vanessa will help me with the names of things, but I was trying to get you on Busted Open because Busted Open Radio, because they were talking about, it was like 2 days after you were on the show, they started talking about the book The Hooker. Mark Henry started talking about it, and they were looking. That's the name of the book, right? Hooker.
Yes, Luthez' book.
Yes. And Mark started talking about it, and he didn't have all. I mean, he did have a lot of information, but I was like, I tweeted in. I was like, oh, you guys should get Kid Ref on, man. He'll give you everything you need to know and all this. And then they brought it up again recently too, when they were talking about Orange Cassidy. And now I'm not going to get any of my names right, because one of the wrestlers was like a, how did he phrase it? Like a acrobatic, flamboyant, like a flippy dippy wrestler, no pun intended, versus a technical wrestler. I believe. Do I have that right, Vanessa? Do you remember that segment?
No, I don't.
No, they brought it up again, and I don't remember the wrestlers' names, but they were comparing it to like Orange Cassidy and why people hate Orange Cassidy or put him down. And I was just like, man, Kid Ref would be so good to just have on and talk about the Hooker, talk about just everything, really. So it was just weird that it happened. And I was thinking of you.
I appreciate it. I'd love to be on there sometime for sure.
Yeah, it would be a good spot. Be a good you could educate them, I think, definitely. But you were on here before, and you were coming on right before Camp Leapfrog,
Yep.
which I watched and enjoyed tremendously. It was right up there with Talking Shopomania, and a lot of the stuff, like during this, I guess we can call it the COVID era. During this COVID era, this type of stuff, this Talking Shopomania, this Camp Leapfrog, it's needed. Like it brings smiles to faces. Like, wrestling is fun. And I think that's what you guys were going for. What was the reception and the reaction after Camp Leapfrog, after the first one?
You know what? I agree with you that wrestling should be fun, you know, and there's room for, you know, serious blood feuds and things like that.
Hmm.
But there's also, and at the opposite of the spectrum for that, you know, and I think a lot of people forget that or they disagree with it. And, you know, I don't. I think there's room for everything and everyone. And the reaction to the first Leapfrog blew me away. It was nothing but overwhelming support and positivity, which I'm thankful for. You know, you put positivity out there, and you hope that it, you know, it welcomes you back, and it did. Um, I was blown away.
Yeah. It was it was it was fun. It was fun for sure. And so you're blown away. Did it so it exceeded your expectations, you would say?
I'd say so. I don't necessarily like to be a person
Yeah.
who has expectations.
Yeah.
You know, especially in pro wrestling, my rule of thumb is if something seems like it's going to happen, that's cool. Assume that it will fall through. So when it does, and you know, it's pro wrestling business, so cool things fall through all the time, unfortunately. So if it does happen, you know, no loss. But if it does happen, that's just a bonus. So I didn't necessarily go into it with any expectations other than I want to get a bunch of my friends
Hmm.
together. I want to make a pro wrestling themed half film, half event that takes place at a pro wrestling camp, and we did that, and it worked.
Yeah. And you something triggered in my head again. My wife not doesn't really watch wrestling anymore. She used to when we first started getting together. But she
Hmm.
was with me when I was watching it, Camp Leapfrog, and she was into it. And when I said, "Oh yeah, we had him on," and he was talking about uh, Camp Anawana, or no, Salute Your Shorts and all this, and she's like, "Oh, I can see it." And then she got invested more, and so she enjoyed it. So it sucked her in. And I told her again tonight, "Well, yeah, he's gonna be on again tonight because um, the reception was so good that you guys are putting on another one, a Halloween special." And I wrote the name down somewhere. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It's things that go bump in the ring.
Yes.
Things that go bump in the ring. Now, you said you don't like expectations. Did you always have it in your mind of a second one, or uh,
Uh, I knew that the expectation would probably be there to
yeah?
make a follow up one. Almost immediately, as soon as the next day, there was already internally that expectation. We had a bunch of the talent who were involved asking us if we were going to make a Halloween special next, and then once that actually aired, that you know, it just kind of naturally
Mm-hmm.
progressed that the fan base started asking for it too, and it's like, you know what, if the demand is there and we can make another cool thing and just put it out into the universe, like why not, you know,
Right.
it's a good thing for everyone involved. And I know IWTV was shocked by it. um, they I'm not supposed to give out any actual numbers or anything. I'll just say
Right.
that we premiered at 10 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Yep.
We had never ran before. That was Leapfrog's first event. We we let each of the individual talent announce that they were going to be present, but we didn't necessarily announce them ourselves. We didn't have any matches announced or anything. Nobody knew anything about it. They were just kind of knew it was this thing that we were doing. They knew it was going to be kind of like a, you know, like they knew the premise of it, but we didn't give much beyond that. And IWTV was floored by how many people actually tuned in to watch that premiere, and it only continued on the video on demand service afterwards through IWTV. It's been wonderful, and we kind of came together. And it's like we can't just do a follow up to Leapfrog. We need to top
Right.
it, because if you can't top it, you know, you shouldn't even bother doing it. You know, and the one thing that I am the happiest about is that the reaction has always been the same for everyone internally who's viewed the finished product, and that is that it's better than the first one. Everyone agrees that the quality went up, the production value went up, the wrestling, the narrative. We learned a ton from the first time around, just how to produce that, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, I've been producing shows for a while. I've been involved with shows for a while. That was my first time doing something quite like that. So there was a huge learning curve for all of us involved. You know, when's the last time a half wrestling, half movie was made? You know,
Yeah.
um, not often. So it was a great learning experience, and I feel like we took all of the positives and negatives that we learned from the first time around, and we have a stronger film because of it coming up this Thursday.
That is correct. This Thursday, 8 p. Eastern Standard Time, independentwrestling.tv. Things that go bump in the night, the Halloween edition of Camp Leapfrog, and it's free with the promo code Leapfrog, correct?
Yep. If you sign up using Leapfrog, you get 5-day free trial, and
Excellent.
I don't believe any commitments required for it.
No.
But to be honest, I've never met someone who's used IWTV and
Right.
hasn't kept up with it. It's such an awesome little streaming service if you like pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, they have content from the United States, Canada, Mexico, Japan, that like dates back from the 80s all the way up until present, and they're releasing new footage every week still.
Yep.
With live streams. I think there's at least once a week, if not more, of shows occurring across the country. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I know. Moxley put it over on Busted Open. He said he went back and watched a ton of IWTV stuff. Synergy Pro Wrestling, they just announced that they're going to be streaming exclusively on IWTV starting in November with their pay-per-view. And I agree, man. I signed up with a free promo code, I don't even remember, a while ago. And I got those 5 free days, and I got sucked right in, and I haven't turned away since. And like you said, the on-demand, the live stuff, like, there's something for everyone. And it's definitely good. I don't know where I was going. I didn't want to do that plug. I wanted to go. Where was I going? Oh, yeah, you mentioned something. So you've done a lot of producing, and you've worked in putting out products like this, but this was your first main venture. Am I kind of correct in saying that? Like,
yes and no. In 2014, I produced Valkyrie Women's Professional Wrestling, which was the first ever all women's wrestling events to be held in New York City since women's wrestling was legalized back in the 70s. So we ran a few of those, and actually those are going to go up on IWTV soon as well. I just sent them all the footage. I'm really excited for the world to see that.
Wow, nice. Is this, and I don't remember if we touched on this last time or not, but is this an avenue? And I guess since you don't like to set up expectations, but is producing and putting on shows like this an avenue you want to go down and could see yourself doing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, my main passion in life is storytelling.
Right.
And whether that's as a referee, whether that's as a matchmaker, whether it's, as a podcaster, I love all of it. And the more avenues for creativity, the more avenues that I'm able to help put on a good product, feature talented people, feature good people. And that's another thing that I love about IWTV. I love Leapfrog, that we don't have any crummy people there. It's the friendliest, most fun-loving locker room I've ever been in. Awesome. And I've been in a lot of locker rooms over the last 13 years. Leapfrog, when we film, it's like an all-day party. Friends get together safely. We're all social distancing, all wearing masks all day. But we get together. Sometimes we haven't seen each other in months. And it's just having fun with your friends. And throughout the day, we film skits, we film matches. And I think that same energy, that morale, it shows. I think it shines through on the content that we produce.
You mentioned something back a little earlier from the first episode, or from the first, pay-per-view. You took you expanded on what worked, and you corrected what didn't work or what didn't go well. Mm-hmm. What's one of the things that didn't go well from the first time that you guys said to yourselves, oh crap, we gotta fix this, we can't do this next time?
I mean, I could tell you all of them. I felt that some of the cinematics in between matches ran a little long. And I mean, that's to be understood. The overwhelming majority of the people that we're working with, they're not actors, they're professional wrestlers. Yep. Sometimes it took a little bit to get to the point. Sometimes there was a bit of stumbling and bumbling. Sometimes they felt long because there wasn't a score to help maintain the energy that we were going for, the tone throughout it. I felt like there wasn't a lot of versatility and variety in the shots that we did. Everything was like a wide shot that captured everyone involved, you know. Um, at that and narratively speaking, the only thing I didn't like was that I felt the overarching plot throughout it was featured heavily in the beginning. It was heavily in the end, and it wasn't. It didn't keep up with it as much toward the middle. Um, so that those were the biggest things that I took from the first Leapfrog and said I want to do this the right way moving forward, which I think we did. I'm very happy with the uptick in production. I love how we continue the story throughout this one in a way that we did in the first one, but not as well. I feel. And this one, not only that whole campground nostalgia feel was still there, but it's a Halloween party throughout the thing, and so we lean into those Halloween tropes of horror movies, good and bad, from the past, and we poke fun at them. One of the biggest influences to me while writing it and as we were editing it was The Office, which was, I mean, if anyone who watches The Office knows, it's like a montage of sequences and interactions and storylines, and they could be as small as just an awkward moment between a couple people, or as big as the central plot that goes through the entire episode. And that's what I wanted to do with this one, was to have it kind of be in between matches a montage of what's going on at the party. That sometimes it's just an awkward, funny moment. Sometimes it's something big that leads to something else. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of variety.
Yeah, that's just the fact that you said a lot of the Halloween camping movies, and then bringing up, there's this fruit fly that flies around this bar that I thought I got rid of. Oh, one of my kids, I tell you, my kids left a banana somewhere. But it brings a smile knowing the possibilities and the potential in the poking fun, the parody, things that can happen. I look forward to that storytelling that you just described with The Office. I can't wait to see it. So that's gonna be.
Thank you. And you know what? Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say another update since we last spoke. I released Tales from the Mat, the first audio documentary that I was putting together. I think we talked about it last time with the Tragos and all of that. Yeah. I decided to finally pull the trigger and release it about a week and a half ago, I think. And I haven't been making a huge about it yet. I haven't sent out the press releases or done anything. I just wanted to do a soft release kind of to see how people reacted to it. And so far, that's also been very positive, which I'm really thankful for.
Sweet. I had that written down right here, too. After I got through all the Camp Leapfrog, I was going to ask you about Tales of the Mat. Where can we find that?
Absolutely. So you can find Tales from the Mat. If you go to Apple Podcast and just type in Tales from the Mat, that'll pop up. And if you don't have Apple, you can go to talesfromthemat.com, and right there you're going to see Maimed, and you just click on that, and it'll have a bunch of different avenues that you can listen to it through. YouTube, I think Spotify is on there, Anchor. There's a handful.
Sweet.
And I wanted to not make a big deal about it at first, just to get the reactions, and I was really happy with him. Gerald Briscoe, he obviously he's biased since he's interviewed in the piece, but he was one of the people that was nervous about listening to it. This is the OG right here. I really hope this dude likes it, and he did. He loved it. He felt like it was listening to old time radio. So that was something I was genuinely nervous about for several days leading up to me finally finding the courage to send him the link and all of that. Yeah. But it's been great.
That's awesome. I posted the link in the chat. I'll have to check it out. That's great, man. That's awesome. So,
thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Camp Leapfrog. Look at that. My moved. Thursday, 8 Thursday the 29th, Halloween special. Things that go bump in the ring. Independent Wrestling .tv. Free, promo code Leapfrog. All that fun stuff. Kris, you've been a pleasure to have on again, to plug your stuff, to just chat with. I can't wait to see how this one is different than the first one, as far as production. Love your storytelling, and I just can't wait to smile, man. In a time where it's tough sometimes to put a smile on your face. You know, I can you know, tune everything out, I guess, and have a good time. But before we let you go, is there anything? I mean, we've done a good job putting things over. Anything you want to let us know?
Oh, I appreciate that. And one thing I'd be remiss if I didn't mention
Yes.
was that actually just earlier tonight we had while during the day, as friends are wont to do when you get together a bunch of creators and again a bunch of talent, we make like little mini films throughout the day and whatnot. And one of the ones that we were going to release as part of Camp Leapfrog, we decided that it stood on its own alone just fine. I actually just released that. It's just a 90-second clip. We called it the Gina Show. Gina's a referee at Camp Leapfrog, one of my students, and her and I had the idea of a sitcom where the main character is aware they're in a sitcom but doesn't want to be in it and doesn't know how to get out. We made just a little short film about that, which I released on my Twitter, which you can find at ref Kris Levin, and that's Kris with a K because my parents are difficult, which is just a fun, harmless little thing that I'm sure we're going to have more in the coming weeks and months as we produce more content with Camp Leapfrog tapings and all of that. And if anyone's interested, we're actually going to do our version of a free-for-all. Like, you know how WWE used to do back in the day, the free-for-all prior to their pay-per-view?
Yep.
So if you go on Facebook on the Independent Wrestling Facebook page at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, so a half hour prior to Leapfrog, Sam Laterna put together an awesome video package. We call it Open Swim at Camp Leapfrog, and it's a mix of interviews, behind the scenes moments. Cheeseburger's on there giving an interview.
Nice.
And we also have a web exclusive match, a 4-corner survival match that I think everyone will really enjoy. That really kind of is the epitome of what Leapfrog is about, which is characters, good wrestling, and fun above all else.
Awesome. That sounds great, man. That's exciting stuff. Awesome. Excellent. I can't wait to see it. And I would be remiss. So you said that, right? Remiss. That's the right word. Yeah. Yeah. That IWTV said if you get it, and you said you can't use numbers, but if you get a big enough turnout for this one, that you guys are getting a Christmas special. Everyone loves Christmas specials.
Yes.
Is it? How do you feel? Do you feel you guys can pull this off? Are we going to get our Christmas special?
I think we're going to get the Christmas special.
Yeah, I do
the
too.
only thing potentially standing in the way of that is just the way the world is, the way the country is right now. There's a lot of unpredictability going on. And if something unforeseen were to happen that would prevent us from, leaving the home, then maybe that would be delayed. But otherwise, I think we're going to get it. But the best way to make certain of that is to tune in on Thursday to watch it.
Tune in on Thursday. Awesome. I want to thank you for giving us your time again tonight. And man, you have an open door. You want to come on for any reason whatsoever. You know how to get a hold of us. So have a great night. We'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me, and it's always wonderful to be on. I'll definitely be back soon.
Awesome. Have a great night.
Likewise.
Bye. Awesome. Good stuff. Well done.